What's up, everybody? We are here live on the Fantasy Insiders NFL DFS show, week 2. Special guest, JJ Zachariason. JJ, did you get a haircut?
Got a haircut, man. Feeling fresh. Feels
You
good.
look, you look totes adorbs. And then we
Thanks.
also have Davis rocking the flat bill brim hat. I'm guessing there is no haircut underneath that.
Nah.
Oh boy. Oh man. Just don't grow it out. Just don't grow it out too long.
No,
All
I'm
right.
just not ever cutting it.
Well, that's a minus EV take. All right.
Yeah.
So we have a lot to talk about. And I feel like, with the two sites, when I was doing rankings earlier this week on fantasyinsiders.com, it feels like it was like kind of night and day. Like lineup construction is very different on one site compared to the other. Have you guys played around with lineups at all?
Yeah,
Yeah,
tons.
I've played around a bunch.
I was telling Davis before we started. It just feels like I can't. Like I know which guys I want to play. It's a tough week to get like the lineup that you really feel comfortable with. That's just my take. That's
Yeah.
pretty hot.
And yeah.
No, dude, here's the thing is you don't believe in yourself, bro. You have to believe in yourself and you have to click
Right.
submit with authority, bro. You have to click
Well, I don't just click Gronk and then click JMat. Well, I am clicking JMat all day this week, but that's not how I construct my lineup.
Listen. You click submit on Rob Gronkowski, you click submit on Jordan Matthews, and then you win your leagues. That's that's all you need to do this week. Most weeks,
All right,
really, but this week particularly.
Let's get this out of the way for the people that are playing tonight live. We'll take it out for the podcast. But for those that are playing tonight, well, Godspeed with you. Like CJ Anderson is playing. I just don't like this is like one of the.
We actually don't know. All that Schefter said was that he would be on the active roster, so we actually don't even know like for sure if he's gonna start.
Like this game just like screams like stay away. Just go chalky on FanDuel and just put in like a default lineup on DraftKings and wait for those Sunday Monday players. Like I'm staying away totally for this game tonight.
Yeah, I agree. It's like a low total. Chiefs defense front seven's really good. Broncos defense is really good. Like I guess I wouldn't have a problem in tournaments taking the Chiefs defense. But even when Manning's bad, he's not going to turn the ball over a ton, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peter, go ahead, JJ.
No, I'm totally with you. I think the only play that like would really be on potentially on my radar would be Kelsey. That's really the part of the field that you can beat Denver. But that's really it.
Their defense looks really good. So even Kelsey, because if you're playing Kelsey, like that's definitely a tournament play. Like you're not playing him over some of these other guys, which we'll talk about later. So there you go. That's the Thursday night take. The infamous don't play Thursday night.
I feel like that's a real thing, man. Just don't do it.
Yeah, and just play chalky. I saw Evan Silva talking about how he likes playing Thursday night games and just playing just like staying away, staying away from guys that are doubtful to questionable on the injury report, like Mike Evans was last week. Like, just don't.
Dude, I had to fire. Listen, I had to fire those Mike Evans tournament teams for my integrity, bro.
So good.
I had to do it for my integrity, dude. Like, if I didn't put in Gronkowski, Mike Evans teams last week, like, I would have been a fraud tout. Like, I had to do it.
Whatever combo gives me Mike Evans.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the Sunday games to start off. We'll go ahead and just mention like quarterback position. And Davis and I were talking a little bit offline about one guy in particular that he's not high on, and I feel like others might be, and that is Tony Romo. So let's just go ahead and start with the big question mark as far as Tony Romo without Dez. JJ, where would you put him as far as quarterbacks this week?
I mean, and I think he's a really intriguing option. I was thinking about it earlier today. I think he's probably a good GPP option. I'm not rolling him in cash or anything, but he's probably a good GPP option just because so many people are going to be off him with the Dez news. But I mean, the matchup's not bad. The team total is still not bad, even without Dez. I mean, I think the logic is there that he's going to be fine. It's just you don't know exactly what's going to happen. I mean, one of the big things that we all joked about entering the season was how bad this Dallas offense could potentially be without Dez Bryant, because really the weapons that he's throwing to are not very good. He had a really cakewalk matchup last week that I think is going to maybe overshadow what this Dez impact could have. But in all, I think he's still a reasonable option in GPP. He has a decent price tag still. So I'm not rolling him in cash, but I think that there's reason that he could perform well.
Davis is not really high on Romo this week, even against Philly, because of the touchdown. He says that production is going to be down. Davis, I'll just go ahead and let you talk for yourself.
Well, yeah, it's just he's been less efficient to all of these wide receivers than Dez. Dez basically functions as their main red zone guy without DeMarco Murray. That's not there. So Witten is like fine in the red zone, but he's kind of average or below average for his career. Beasley can't do it. Terrence Williams can't do it. So I don't really know where the touchdowns are coming from, and that's not to say that he can't have 320 yards and 3 touchdowns, especially if they're trailing, but that's not what I project. That's not like the most reasonable outcome to me, and I think they're more easily projectable performances this week.
Yeah. One of the guys, Anthony Amico, that writes for us, didn't even rank him in the top 10. That's where.
What a donkey. Phew.
I would put him in the middle of the pack. I mean, you look at, he is the same price tag as like Eli Manning. So I could see either one of those guys having a decent game. So yeah. Romo kind of on the fence with Dez gone. We'll talk about the receiver situation in a second. Let's go ahead though and get kind of your top guys. Davis, are you still predicting a 25-point floor for Manziel this week?
25, 26 point floor ish for Manziel. Are you on Palmer, JJ? Because that's my dude this week.
Yeah, I'm definitely on Palmer. I mean, he's a favorite he is on the road, which isn't good. But I mean, Palmer's been pretty incredible starting last year before his injury. Last season he was the 6th most efficient quarterback in the NFL according to the number fire metrics on a per drop back basis. We saw last week he was able to perform against a banged up Saints secondary. It's not as good of a matchup this week, but I really do like Palmer at his price tag. But I think if you're playing on DK, I think that you can love Sam Bradford just as much as you can love Palmer, and they're only $200 apart. So that's kind of where I'm at with those middle price quarterbacks.
I'll probably just split them and call it good for cash games. Like I'll probably just use one of them on one side and one of them on the other, and just call it good.
Yeah.
Davis? Why don't you just? Why does it have to be one on one site and one on the other? Why can't you just do 2 on one site and 2 on the other?
Like run like multiple lineups?
Yeah, from a game theory perspective, like in cash games, it's completely okay.
I love on Monday night to just watch my FanDuel winnings go away and just feel that despair. Just that despair that with every Minnesota Vikings offensive possession, every dollar is leaving my account. And then also the Jordan Matthews non-touchdown was just, I mean, that hurt me so deeply. I don't even have words for it.
It was bad. Try doing a 7-hour show though in front of everybody while trying to keep your spirits up after Bradford and then J Matt in the first like 3 quarters just crush your dreams, and then Adrian Peterson crush your dreams later. Like was terrible. Adrian Peterson gets double-digit points and like I'm fine. J Matt catches that final touchdown, I'm fine. But that's kind of a reason why you diversify your lineups. I was talking to Drew.
There was no way I was ever making lineups without J-Matt, though.
Okay, well, and that's fine, but you can like diversify around that. Like instead of having all the C.J. Anderson, you could have had half the C.J. Anderson, half the Eddie Lacy.
Yeah, that would have been
Drew
great.
had 5
That would have been
cash
great.
lineups.
Dude, why are you doing this to me right now? It's not like I don't know. It's not like I don't know. Like,
Because you didn't learn. You did not learn from your mistake.
dude. Let me spew. Let me spew. I did
I
fine
just
on
don't know what.
one lineup.
Okay. I don't know why it has to be one on one side, one on the other. That's all I'm saying. If you like them both, play them both on both sites.
The site you need to be hedging on, everyone listening, the site you need to be hedging on is FanDuel, because the head-to-head action there is so, you can get so much diverse head-to-head action out there, and that's where you want to have equity invested against like other single users. DraftKings is a little different, I think. So that's my
JJ,
take
do you
on
have
that.
anything to add to this donkey take by Davis?
No. I'll talk about 2 other cash game quarterbacks, is Luck and Breeze. If you're not going with Bradford Palmer.
Talk to me about
Andy Luck.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I think Breeze is the most logical choice that people are going to go with because of the matchup. Because of I think the fear with Breeze would be game script, of course. But games where he's been 10-point favorites or more, which apparently he has 23 of those in his career, which is pretty insane given how big of a spread that is. He's averaging 2.43 touchdowns per game, so he's in really good shape, I think. And that Tampa Bay secondary is pretty awful. But I still like Luck. I mean, Luck has the highest floor still of any quarterback in fantasy. We even saw Luck wasn't even terrible last week. How do you disagree with that, Davis? He's a better. We both agree he's a better fantasy.
Rodgers is better, dude.
Well, no, Rodgers. I agree. I don't disagree, but I think Luck is still the better floor from a floor standpoint than Rodgers is, just because game script can get out of hand with the Packers because they have a better running game. In 10 games where Luck's been a 7-point favorite or better, he's averaging 2.3 touchdowns per game, and out of that split, it's at 1.67. And then he's still even with the big spreads, the touchdown or more spreads, he's still throwing 282 yards per game in that smallish sample. So I think just in general, I mean, Cromartie's out. I know I think people are gonna be scared off of Luck just because of Revis. Like that, I think that's the main reason.
No, but listen,
and team total too.
The Jets are gonna be donkeys and put Revis on Andre Johnson, who can't even play. So they're gonna be wasting him out there. That's what's happening, dude.
Have they said that? I mean, Revis played.
That's how the NFL works.
Well, if I recall,
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about wide receivers in a second, because that is definitely the as far as what people are trying to figure out. Who is he going to cover? Is it going to be?
Yeah, I think the other
right now it's going to be Andre Johnson.
The fear though with Breeze that I think is being overlooked too is that his wide receivers are pretty terrible. Like Brandon Coleman is not. He's good. But he's not a guy that's going to see a high volume of targets. He can't handle high volume of targets. He doesn't fit that profile. Brandon Cook, sure, he could be the possession guy. Marcus Colston's older than my dad. And if Spiller's not out there, now you have Mark Ingram, who hasn't been a pass catching back his entire career, catching passes like he did last week.
He can do it. I'm on board with Ingram this week.
Sure. That's not about me not being on board. It's me just looking at from a real football perspective, like Breeze's weapons aren't so great that you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fantastic. Like it's good. Like you're playing Breeze.
Josh Hill, dude.
Yeah, I think you're playing Breeze in general because Vegas likes the Saints because they're big favorites. Because Breeze has done it in the past without great weapons, but I think with Luck's weapons and the injury to Cromartie, he's just as good of an option.
Okay. Third highest team total as far as Vegas is concerned within the home team total, I should say. So I do think, though, there's that stigma of the Jets that people don't want to go against them. I'll be honest. When I first started doing rankings, I wanted to stay away.
They were great for quarterbacks last year.
Yeah, and as far as Revis goes,
well, I'm telling you guys, they're wasting Revis on Andre Johnson, so it's like he's not even going to be out there.
If Luck was playing.
The Colts will be playing 10 on 11 offense for the rest of the year because Andre Johnson can't play. He can't be out there. He's got
if the game was in New York, I would not feel the same about Andrew Luck.
I mean, I'm not on him regardless. I only want
and
Andrew
T.Y.
Luck
Hilton.
the easiest possible matchup because he sucks against good defenses.
T.Y. Hilton is expected to
He
be
doesn't.
a game time decision though. So as far as
Yeah,
T.Y.
that's
Hilton
also
goes,
another point. Yeah, that's a good point.
but okay, Luck and Breeze definitely interesting. For me, it was. I feel like for me, it's going to be Bradford and Palmer for cash game quarterbacks. I'm probably not going to mess with Breeze or Luck for cash games.
So you're a
But
smart man.
these cheap quarterbacks. I know Johnny Manziel struggled big time after that long touchdown pass, but you look at his price point, JJ. Like, you have Manziel, you've got Tyrod Taylor, you've got these
Andy
cheap
Dalton.
quarterbacks for GPPs. Andy
Yeah.
Dalton's very cheap. Was it DraftKings?
Both
I feel
sides.
like so. Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
yeah, so I mean, I think Dalton is definitely. I mean, for instance, he's the streamer that we picked this week on Living the Stream. He's at home as a favorite. He's averaging over the last 2 seasons over 2 touchdowns per game. And Vegas is being more and more bullish on the offenses in this game as this week has gone on. So I think putting it together, he has the weapons. San Diego secondary is not that bad, but at the same time, it's in Cincy. They're traveling. I think overall Dalton's in a really, really good spot. It's similar. I mean, the defense isn't as bad as what he saw last week, but it's another good spot for Dalton, and his price
Not a
point
good
is
defense.
amazing. No, it's not good, but they have decent guys in their secondary that they won't scare you. But it's yeah. I mean, Flowers is there, and they have Weddle still. I mean, like it's not like a terrible matchup or a fantastic matchup rather. But I think given Dalton's history, when he's a favorite, when he has game script in his favor, that's really when Dalton shines and when he does have a ceiling.
Yep, I agree.
I can definitely get on board Dalton and another guy. We talk about overreactions, and I thought it was interesting. We had the Football Outsiders article on our site, and the beginning of it was just talking about overreactions from week one, and all like went through all of the narratives from week one where we just overreacted big time, such as like the Bills have a franchise quarterback. You know, it was just.
Well, that's. I don't want to talk. It's not a thing.
Well, I know it's what I'm saying is that
Who was
they
saying
had
that? Who was saying that?
last year. If you go and read the article, he makes a good point as far as we were all up in arms after week one on all sorts of stuff that just did not pan out. It's a classic overreaction to week one. That's what the fantasy community does. I want to know as far as Brady versus Buffalo. Brady's price tag is not that high. Like
all the narrative street, bro. All the narrative street, bro.
As far as him having Buffalo's number.
Well, no, Buffalo players this week have been like, "Oh, I hate the Patriots. We want Tom Brady." Rah, rah, rah. And like, it just who cares? Tom Brady's good. They're good. We'll talk. Let's save the Tom Brady discussion for like 15 minutes because JJ and I'll argue about Gronk for like a good 20 minutes.
Worse, naturally.
It's gonna be awful.
I don't think Brady hasn't really been on my radar. But I mean, I think you can make a case for a lot of guys from like a GPP standpoint. But I wouldn't. I'm personally not going that heavy on them. The Buffalo defense is for real. The Buffalo defense is really good.
They're gonna shut down Gronk, dude.
I mean, I think a lot of what's going on with I think a lot what's going on with the New England offense in general, and this kind of includes Gronk. Look, I love Rob Gronkowski. He's the best. He's the best. He is the best weapon
he's gonna
in the
get
NFL.
shut down by Buffalo this week.
No, it just blows my mind that we look at
corner. This is where we
look at
JJ.
last week's performance. We look at last week's performance, okay? It was against arguably probably the worst secondary in the NFL. Probably the worst. And
How
I think
about
that
we
it's
just
easy.
look at Gronk's career, bro? Just look at Gronk's career, dude.
All right, here's some.
He's a Super Bowl winning tight end, dude. Tight end wins.
Here we go. Gronk's career, Davis. Gronk's career. Okay, against top half secondaries in terms of fantasy points against, he scores 6.5 fewer points per game. He has 4.38 receptions versus 5.21 receptions. 58 yards per game against top half defenses across his career. 0.59 touchdowns against top half defense when he scores 1.21 per game against bottom half defenses. So and not only that, but Buffalo was the best team against defending tight ends last season. I mean, there's a lot of reason that you can fade Gronk. Well, not fade, where you can go with cheaper options at tight end, and that helps not being as in on Brady because that defense is so strong at stopping tight ends, and that's clearly Brady's number one target.
I mean, that's good if you are of the opinion that Gronk is like human.
Stoppable.
Or
yeah.
stoppable.
I mean, what's hilarious, but like what's hilarious about the whole Gronk thing is that there were 4 other tight ends who competed very easily with Gronk's fantasy output in week 1 when Gronk went nuts and scored 3 touchdowns. Like there's a huge opportunity cost involved. Like sure, Gronk is the number 1 tight end each and every week.
Sample size. That's small sample size. Tight ends absolutely went off with last
week. I just gave
with Eifert, Reed,
Gronk,
Bennett,
and Gronk
and what I'm
and
saying
that you can project to do that.
Look, I'm never saying that Gronk isn't the best option, that he's not the best tight end. I'm simply saying that this is literally the worst situation, worst matchup that Gronk could be facing in week 2.
I disagree because you can build in volume to this in ways that you can't a lot of matchups.
I mean, how do you explain like him against top half defense? I just said he literally has worse than 50% of his production as he does against bottom half defenses in terms of touchdowns scored. Like,
I mean, it just makes sense that he would not do as well.
Right, but that's drastic.
What I'm telling you, so you have to look at the specific circumstance of this week. Say the Vegas expects the Patriots to score 21 points. Well, Buffalo doesn't let anyone score on the ground, and their other wide receivers are just complete pool filth. Julian Edelman is not breathing while Stephen Gilmore is covering him. So how are they scoring points? Who's doing this? Is are we gonna what is happening? Is Dion Lewis gonna go off?
There's plenty. No one has to go off in order to score a touchdown.
All right, I don't agree.
Look, he's
with
the number
you,
one tight
JJ,
end.
That
He's the number one tight end this week.
You that he's outside of the top 10 in tight ends this week. No, but this is where I think strategy for both sites is interesting because I think on FanDuel you have to play Gronk. For me, you have to play Gronk, and you can go cheap at a lot of different positions to get him. On DraftKings, so I had Gronk as number 1, and on DraftKings I had Witten at number 1 because I think when you talk about Witten's salary at let's see, 4 out of 7. What is that, math nerds? I don't know. It's not half, but it's a little over half. But as far as production goes, a PPR site without Dez, you just know that he's going to get 10 targets this week. And maybe that's the Greg Olsen effect from last week, but I've got Witten as my number 1 on DraftKings.
I'm a little worried about the matchup for Witten. He should see volume, but the matchup is pretty tough for him. I mean, to me, you're either going with Gronk, which again, you get more savings with Gronk by doing this on the opportunity cost is much larger on DraftKings or on FanDuel if you don't go Gronk than on DraftKings. I mean, you're getting more savings essentially if you don't go Gronk on DraftKings. So I think, like you said, Kitchen, on FanDuel go Gronk, but on DraftKings I'm totally fine with going either Heath Miller or Jordan Reed. That's kind of
Reed. Reed is a little nicked up, but and if he's out, going to wide receivers like Pierre Garçon is just that dude this week for me. Right. Davis, you're not a big Pierre fan, are you? Davis is muted, but that's okay.
Yeah, wow.
This is like the best. This is like the best segment ever.
This is amazing. We do this every. It's all the time. No, I think though like Heath Miller I think Heath is one of the better tight end plays this week. You saw the 49ers get kind of gashed by Kyle Rudolph. If there is one position player on the Vikings that beat them last week, Heath saw 11 targets last week because the Steelers' weapons are horrible without Le'Veon and Martavis. I think if you're not going to spend on Gronk, Heath is probably my number one guy that I would drop down to. Just because
you guys couldn't hear me, huh?
No.
No.
So I talked about
it. Yeah, that mute
yeah,
button
I
is.
said I would rather roster Cole Beasley than Pierre Garcon in every format, even with readout.
Okay, we'll get to the wide receiver in a second because the Beasley Williams, you can't play both. You have to pick one. So we'll get to that in a second. Staying on tight end though, for me, I just feel like all those guys are kind of in the same. After Gronk, all those guys are kind of in the same field. Like who's going to emerge? I don't know. Like Martellus Bennett is around that same. Bennett, Greg Olson could be an overreaction type GPP play where everyone comes off of him and he goes and gets 10 targets.
You can play this guy named Rob Gronkowski. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Not if your name,
he's only,
not if your name is JJ Zacharias.
He's only scored the most touchdowns of anyone his age in the NFL history.
This is what I'm saying. I'm trying to give a reasonable alternative to not, because I like Gronk is not a complete lock, need to be in your lineup this week at all, especially on DraftKings. He's just not.
I agree with that point on DraftKings. I will say that I agree with that. You don't have to have him on FanDuel. I think you do.
Sure, that's fine.
And I do agree with Heath Miller as well as far as on DK, but I'd have Witten over Miller. Another guy, GPP option. I didn't have him as high ranked as my other compadres, Jimmy Graham.
Yeah,
his price tag is nice. He still scored last week. They might have to air it out some, and he's going to get some red zone targets. That's just what it is. So, all right, let's move on to wide receivers. We'll get to running backs after this. Wide receivers, though, since we were just talking about it, Cole Beasley and Terrence Williams. You have to pick one, Davis. Who is it going to be?
Cole Beasley. I know a human being who works for the Dallas Cowboys, and I would say Cole Beasley. A little bit of hashtag inside info.
This is insane. David has hashtag sources now.
Straight sources, bro.
Incredible. Terrence Williams. Rich Rebar put it best this week when he told me that Terrence Williams is the Dallas version of Marcus Wheaton. Perfect.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's actually really good. It's pretty accurate.
He's not good. Like Terrence Williams isn't good.
He's better at the deep ball.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the cash game play at all, just because of the route. Like he's a 9-route guy, and you want Beasley could be peppered with targets, especially against this defense with that pass rush.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he sees like 11 targets.
Yeah, it could happen.
And Williams' role is not going to change at all. I could obviously be wrong, and he could grab a long touchdown, but I don't know. I think he can't be asked to do more than what he's already doing.
He didn't even play well last week is the crazy thing, which is why it's funny to me that because it was on national television and people are still kind of high on him as a receiver, but he's not.
Someone brought up the point about Gavin Escobar. He's actually already a red zone option for that team.
Yeah, he always is.
He's like the JJ preferred play this week.
Yeah, he's like a great. He might see 4 targets, so he's like JJ's favorite play.
Living the stream backup tight end instead of Gronk.
You know that I looked up before the podcast kitchen. I looked up the week last year when I was all into Jared Cook. I looked up the podcast. It was week 3 of last year.
Was Jared that Hua Manui?
Tight end 5, Jared Cook, baby. Tight end 5.
All right. As far as the elite options, you've got Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, Odell Beckham. I feel like those are the 3 as far as the elite top tier options. I mean, J-Matt, as far as price, is just not in that range.
Right.
All right,
Davis
so Davis is muted again. So your take on the top receivers, JJ.
Yeah, I have Julio and Antonio Brown as 1-2 kind of interchangeable, and then Odell kind of in his next tier next. The only reason for that is because there's a chance that the Giants are kind of a dumpster fire of a team. So I mean, I can get behind Odell. I'm more into an Eli Odell stack in GPP and playing Julio and Antonio Brown in cash this week.
You guys are gonna learn about that
Davis.
Odell Beckham slander. You're gonna learn. You can't slander Odell Beckham, dude. The internet will get you. They will remember forever if you say anything bad about that dude.
I mean, he's my number 3 wide receiver. He's not my number 430th wide receiver. Like you had him.
I mean, I think ODB is a great play this week. No one's gonna have him because he was bad last week. He's gonna move all around the formation. His splits last week were like 30-30-30 for left, right, and slot. So he's gonna see some time against Alford, who's like just complete poolville, and he won't see Trufant hardly at all, I don't think. So things are gonna be good for Odell this week. Things are gonna be good.
Yeah, they should.
Let's talk about. Yeah, I think Antonio Brown's at number one. The thing is, if you're using Gronk, you cannot use Antonio Brown. It's like one or the other.
Yeah.
Right, and that's a key thing. But no, that's a key. That's part of the opportunity cost, and that's why I'm really into Julio and Antonio Brown this week, and that's really part of the reason that I'm not as into Gronk as I would other weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, just
makes sense.
Just rock Heath Miller, take those dad points, do it, bro.
We'll see, Davis.
All right. Moncrief would be a guy that you would not play in the Thursday night games, I feel like, just because we don't know. There's still just some information out there that we do not know. But on Sunday, he could definitely be a viable tournament play. As far as cash game play, if we don't know who is going to be covered in this game, like, where do you go with this? You just like avoid altogether for cash?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Totally. I don't know. The Colts offense is not going to be that great this year. It's going to be a lot of like an inefficient mess. Tell me they're going to be efficient, JJ. Look me in the eye and tell me the Colts are going to be efficient with Andre Johnson and Frank Gore and freaking Kobe Fleener, dude. There is no efficiency anywhere there.
I mean, the problem with the argument though is that there were like 6-ish inefficiency last year, and it's not like they've downgraded.
Oh, they got worse. They put Andre Johnson's corpse out there.
Look, Andre Johnson looks horrible. I agree, but it's not like, I mean, they're gonna use Moncrief more than they did last year. They're gonna be fine, Davis. You just hate Andrew Luck.
Johnson had a pretty bad drop last week. AJ Green, another guy that had a very bad drop. Jordan Matthews, a guy that had a bad drop at the end.
Oh, so bad.
That was the bad part about, not that he didn't even complete the catch, but if you had Bradford, it was like negative points for Bradford.
Yeah, you lost points.
Yeah, that you really needed. So, but as far as those wide receivers, J-Matt still in play at his price point. We talked about the primetime effect where they come out with salaries before that game is done. What is going on, JJ? You were like typing up a storm.
Sorry.
Dude, he's typing to one of his friends about how much of a donkey I am.
Yeah, that's usually what I do.
All right, let's just go ahead and move on then from wide receiver then to running back. And running back situation.
Wait, hold on. Are we not going to talk about John Brown?
Oh, we can talk about John Brown if you want to.
He's the nuts this
Solid
week,
play.
dude. Yeah. He's 6,200 on FanDuel, like cheap on DraftKings. Him and like Jarvis Landry are like really, really good DraftKings.
What world am I living in where Davis Maddock is into Jarvis Landry and John Brown when they're like 5'8"?
Dude,
What is happening right now? This is, and you're loving Odell Beckham.
Yeah, dude. I just, you gotta learn to grow up and mature someday. And I have left the ODB hate behind. I let it change me. I learned from it.
Sean P says Larry Fitzgerald greater than, so I'm guessing that's John Brown. Yeah, Fitzgerald does have an interesting price tag, but as far as rostering him, like I don't know who I would roster him over.
It's like you can have Decker.
You've got Brent.
You can have Decker instead of Fitzgerald, so like that's just easy to do.
You can also drop down like on DraftKings to Brandon Coleman
Exactly.
and get much better opportunities and save 1900. I know a guy that I had a question about. Kendall Wright's going to be a decent option, especially if Delaney Walker is out. He's another short wide receiver.
I'll
Davis.
let JJ handle that one.
You get the, you
but
can get
no,
some Joe Hayden treatment.
I want to know about.
Right. None of that. Someone just asked in the chat if Toller is playing. He is not. So all of the Decker. The guy
The thing
who
with Kendall Wright
guarding
is
Decker this weekend
they're
is
gonna
like
get him the
5'9".
ball.
The guy who is guarding Decker this weekend is like straight 5'9". Like he's teensy. It's not. It's.
Would you throw? Are you throwing Decker in cash though?
Definitely.
Really? I can't. I mean, I can't do it. Just I can't.
If Vontae Davis is on
offenses.
Brandon Marshall and the Jets are touchdown underdogs, what is their offense going to look like? Who do you think gets the ball?
No, I mean, he's a very good play. He's a very, very good play. I don't have enough trust in the offense in general to throw a guy like Decker into my cash lineup. Great GPP.
What are your guys' thoughts? What are your guys' thoughts on this Jacksonville receiving core? Do you just like stay away? Allen Robinson, you stay away from him. Had a pretty bad week 1 last week.
Well, they're asking him.
Yeah, you stay away.
Do.
You have to stay. Blake Bortles is it's the worst quarterback situation in the NFL. I mean, he's the worst starting quarterback in the NFL.
Radioactive. All right, so now we can get on to running backs then. So running backs, you've got how highly owned is Chris Ivory going to be this week?
Too high.
Is he going to be the highest owned running back?
I think Carlos Hyde's going to be higher owned than Ivory.
Yeah, probably.
But I'm actually not.
Underdogs.
Yeah, I'm really not into Chris Ivory. I've been slowly getting off him more and more this week because of the game script in that game. Bilal Powell could hit the field if they lose the lead, which is going to happen given that they're 7-point underdogs. I don't love Chris Ivory nearly as much as what I've seen out there. I mean, there's still some hesitation even with Carlos Hyde with the way that game script could go because everything went perfectly for Carlos Hyde in week 1. Literally everything. You had a disaster of an offense from Minnesota.
Games I've ever seen.
Yeah. Right. It was awful. And I think everything kind of fell into place for Carlos Hyde in week 1. I think, and then there's the whole short week traveling across the country playing in Pittsburgh thing. Pittsburgh attacked through the air a lot. I mean, the Pittsburgh defense in general is terrible. The secondary is way, way worse though than what you have in the middle of the field and even on the defensive line. So I'm still into Hyde. I'm still playing Hyde. I'm more into Hyde than I am Chris Ivory because of game script issues. But I think both are going to be too highly owned this week, just in general.
I think on DraftKings, it's a different story than FanDuel. DraftKings, you can play them both and be okay. Like their price is not bad at all. You've got Carlos Hyde at 5,100 and Chris Ivory at 4,700. Like for cash game, I'm completely fine this week with going cheap on running back this situation and cash games, putting Woodhead or Abdullah and Ivory and Hyde, like 3 out of those 4 in cash games. Like completely okay with it just because of where their price points is and getting better wide receivers. That's where
I mean I can get behind that. I understand that. I would say the guys that are a little bit higher, like I love Lamar Miller this week. He still played the 4th most snaps of any running back in the NFL last week, even though he didn't perform. The game script's going to be favorable there. There's a lot of stats, like for instance, I mean, against Jacksonville last season, teams had a 1.01 pass to run ratio in the red zone against them when the league average was 1.17 because of game script, because you know that the teams are going to be running the ball against them. So I love Lamar Miller. I like Justin Forsett against Oakland as a bounce back candidate. And I think the top running back to me has to be Marshawn Lynch this week against Green Bay.
I think it's Jeremy Hill.
Jeremy Hill's in a good spot too. Yeah. But if you're not going with Hyde and Ivory.
Forsett is like the undercover nuts because he has like a 20% market share of that team's passing yardage, and they only let Buck Allen play 13 snaps last week.
Yeah. Forsett still played the 11th most snaps at running back last week. I mean, it's just the Denver's defense is so much better than what people realize because they're so focused on the offense. That defense is so talented. It's so good. And that's a huge reason that Forsett wasn't able to do anything last week, aside from the fact that, like Joe Flacco is going to be fine this week because the Oakland secondary is so bad. And I think that you have to trust Vegas a lot with the spread that you see in this game, that they're going to be ahead. Forsett's going to get his. And the thing that's good about him is that he's still probably going to get 5 or 6 targets at least.
Yeah.
People are asking about Ingram. Ingram's price tag just makes me a little uncomfortable.
It's cheap,
like 8,000. 8,000 on FanDuel.
Yeah. It's a little expensive on FanDuel.
Like, just go ahead and pay up 400 or 100 for 400 for Jeremy Hill or 100 for Eddie Lacy. I think Eddie Lacy is a fine play. Like, look at what Benny Cunningham did last week, and they're still going to be dependent on Lacy. Like, he's still going to get his fair share.
You're not getting me to tout Eddie Lacy against the Seahawks. JJ can if he wants.
I mean, I'm not. I'm still into Marshawn over a guy. Like, if you're spending at running back.
I'd rather play DeMarco than Eddie Lacy.
Narrative Street?
No, just a better matchup.
Going up against Dallas.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Lacy's $200
cheap. He said to the media he doesn't care. He was just trying to get his money.
Yeah, of course he doesn't. That's because athletes don't.
Yeah. They really don't. People want athletes to be these gladiators who like care so much about honor, dude. They're just cashing those checks. I want everyone to know they're just cashing those checks.
I think Ingram, though, if Spiller doesn't go in this game, Ingram is almost
play.
A lock. Yeah.
Adrian Peterson, radioactive. Like, you just can't touch Adrian Peterson this week.
Not even a good matchup either.
Yeah, I actually think the Lions it's so weird. Like, I think the Lions defense on the road as a 1-point underdog is actually a really good DST play. TBH.
Yeah. They crushed them last year. The Vikings.
Yeah.
Well, as long as Minnesota is afraid to run the ball, dude, their first scripted plays of the season were 3 of the worst passing plays my eyes have ever been exposed to in the history of football. Like, it's just that coaching staff doesn't know what they're doing. They're in over their heads.
Yeah. I mean,
Vikings are bad.
It's not good.
Yeah. So
I do agree also with you, JJ, about Lamar Miller. The thing as far as like pricing goes, like I said, I think I have DraftKings my strategy figured out there. With FanDuel, it's just like Lamar Miller 7,300. Like, if you're playing Gronk, it's just gonna be tough to get. Like, you're going to have to pay for Chris Ivory, Carlos Hyde to be able to get Gronk and 3 like decent receivers in there. Because if you go expensive running backs and Gronk, you're gonna have to go Johnny Football at quarterback.
I put together a lineup with 2 expensive running backs, Jordan Matthews, and the quarterback I wanted with Gronk, no problem.
I mean, you're gonna have to be playing like Cole Beasley. You're gonna have to. I mean, even Garcon. Garcon's super cheap on FanDuel.
I have no problem playing Cole Beasley.
No, I don't mind Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley's in my cash lineups this week. I mean, like, I think this is just to me, it's just part of like what you have to deal with Gronk in general and what you're gonna have to deal with him each and every week. But like, yeah, I mean, you're not gonna be able. It's gonna be very difficult to fit in even one of the high-end running backs if you're using them.
I'm telling you, go play around with
Decker
lineups.
and
Not
Cash.
as hard as you think.
I'm playing Beasley
or Decker
over Decker and Cash.
No, it's Decker.
I'm going. Beasley has a better price point, doesn't as well.
Yeah, I don't know why people are asking that, but if I don't know what site you're playing on where they're close, but if they're close, it's Decker. God, Eric Decker is so good, and he's getting freaking put in conversations with Cole Beasley, who is the worst.
But look, but it doesn't have to, like, of course Decker is better than Cole Beasley. I mean, he's a lot better than Cole Beasley. And you know I'm a Decker guy. It's just, it's looking at, I think Beasley has a safer floor. I really do this week than Decker does. With potentially just as decent as a ceiling, because like you said, they don't have any red zone threats. You don't know if they throw like a bubble screen on the 5 and he runs in.
I mean, that's possible, but Decker is like an 8-year sample of being good in the red zone.
Yeah, that's.
Are you comfortable with these 3 wide receivers in cash games? Jordan Matthews, Cole Beasley, and Pierre Garçon on FanDuel. Like,
No.
Are you comfortable with that? No. And
No.
those are the type of wide receivers that you have to play if you go expensive running.
My wide receiver core is John Brown, Jordan Matthews, Cole Beasley.
Okay, so you're only one off. You're
right, but
you're
like
Garçon
John Brown
versus
is like
Brown.
I think a better play than Garçon. Like I don't feel comfortable with Garçon.
The problem is John Brown is $800 more, so like you cannot fit him in there. You cannot fit him in there if you want to go with it. Bro, I'm telling you, I already have, bro. It's what if you go expensive running backs, like if you go 2 reliable running backs, like Marshawn and Jeremy Hill and Gronk and Bradford, like you are left with Matthews and then an average of 5,600 left.
I feel comfortable with Forsett, where I think maybe other people aren't.
No, I don't.
I do too.
I would just rather go Ivory than Forsett.
It just seems like asking for like 12 carries. It just really seems like being like, hey, just can you put me on tilt, Jets, please tilt me.
Yeah, I mean we have a pretty big sample of Chris Ivory not being a passing down back, even though they talked about it more this offseason with him. And Bilal Powell got looks this past week against Cleveland. Some of them had to do with the fact that they were up by a decent margin, so they could just throw him in. But I mean, Ivory scares me a lot this week, just because of that game script. Like I don't see how the Colts are going to lose that game. I don't see how the Colts don't do pretty much what they would want to do through the air too. So that's where my hesitation is.
Yep.
Joe Marino 27 says he feels comfortable playing Witten in cash if he can't fit in Gronk. I agree about that on DraftKings. We already answered Brown versus Decker. And Lynch favorite top cash play. That's a question from Jonathan Robinson.
I think so. From a running back standpoint.
Yeah, I like
Green Bay can't stop the run. Did you see Matt Forte do what he did? Like Matt Forte, 30-year-old Matt Forte running all around this Packers.
He's crushing it.
Yeah, he looked great. But Marshawn's great too. The fear with Marshawn is that he's away from home, but at the same time, the Packers defense can't stop the run.
Sankey versus Cleveland this week.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'd rather
can't
play
get behind it.
Someone just put Abdullah in chat. Yeah, I'd rather play Abdullah or Danny Woodhead.
Yeah.
No, JJ probably has like a soliloquy ready for Danny Woodhead right now.
Oh, I love Danny Woodhead this week.
Yeah, that's
true. How do you not like Danny Woodhead this week?
I do like Danny.
Especially in DraftKings, but they still gave the ball to like. I was surprised at them just giving him the ball.
It was really
inside the 5
to draft Melvin Gordon.
He's a good red zone and goal line back. Like it's crazy, but he's actually good. And the thing that's perfect with Woodhead is that they're underdogs. You know he's going to be on the field, or you hope that he's going to be on the field if you believe in Vegas. And I think he's a fantastic play on DraftKings. Fantastic at 4K.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fantastic. Alex Reeve says Jeremy Hill getting no catches or targets in week 1 a concern. Seems a little scary for cash.
That's who he is. It's like the same, like, yeah. I mean, Jeremy Hill is not a trap. You know exactly what Jeremy Hill is. He's going to get 18 carries and he's going to get red zone carries. he scores a touchdown, you're happy. If he doesn't, you're gonna tilt.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly what you're doing.
the thing that's annoying is that Hill is arguably a better receiver than Gio Bernard is,
Gio.
but it's just what they have, and that's what the coaches are using. So, I mean, Jeremy Hill is one of the most complete backs in the league, but they're just not using him as much in those third down looks when they should. But again, that's part of the reason I'm just in general because of because I think that's part of the reason I'm more on Marshawn than I am on Jeremy Hill.
Oh, I had a question for you guys before we go. DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Johnson and AJ Green, they're kind of in that same tier for pricing. Who would you pick out of those three?
I'd go AJ Green.
Yeah, I guess AJ Green. Two of the other ones have tough matchups. I don't know. Hopkins against Josh Norman is not a good idea.
Yeah, it's really not. AJ Green dropped that touchdown pass last week, which was super tilting. But he could have had a much better day on paper. So I think people will be off him probably because he didn't perform. His stat line didn't look as good. But I think in general he has a better matchup than those guys.
What about your boy Mike Evans, Davis?
I mean, yeah, he's gonna get a ton of garbage time looks against a Saints secondary that is down all of their starters. Like Browner is out, Keenan Lewis is out. They lost a safety last week. Yeah, Mike Evans is really good. Who is this Hawker fella? I don't keep up with the kickers at all. Who is this Hawker fella?
It's the Saints kicker. It's the
Saints kicker. He's like Franks, I think, is also a good kicker. While we're talking about unknown kickers at 4,500.
Yeah, he went to my wife's.
Never ever roster a kicker more than min price in cash.
Yeah, Hawker is a good play. I don't mind the Saints D either. I saw that over there too. I don't mind the Saints D against Jameis.
Jameis.
Dolphins D is where it's at though.
Is it? I think.
You think the Dolphins D?
Price agnostic. Yeah. I'd probably go Rams.
Rams are good too. I mean, Jacksonville just hands points over to defenses.
They're bad. They're a bad.
They're terrible. Blake Bortles is a pick six machine. I mean, it's crazy when you look at how bad or how good defenses did against Jacksonville.
Number 3 overall in the NFL draft.
No, wait, did they lower? I completely missed this. Did they lower salaries for? I didn't even pay attention last week. Did they lower salaries on FanDuel for team defense?
So you can play like if you want to go under. I think Davis mentioned it earlier. If you want to go under the 4,500 mark, you can go with Detroit.
That's what I'm doing.
That's so funny because in my dummy lineup, I just scrolled down to 4,500 and saw the Saints, so put them in there. And then I'm like, I just now noticed, okay, well, yeah, you can put in. Very nice. Last week I was just all in on the Jets, so I didn't even look at any other defenses.
I made the mistake. I didn't realize that McManus was also the min. So I had Lambo in 100% of my lineups, while McManus had the highest.
Oh, I went with that.
Yeah, it's not like it was even a take. I wasn't like, oh, dude, I'm a huge Josh Lambo fan. It was literally me just being lazy and clicking.
Huddle. Jets were below 4,500 last week.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I wasn't paying attention to pricing. I just plugged them in. Like I didn't look at what they were priced at. I just was still going under the last year as far as you just click 4,500. So that's how much I was paying attention last week in cash games on FanDuel. So yeah, that will do it for today's show. Special thanks to JJ Zachariason from Numberfire. And you can reach him on Twitter at LateRoundQB. Also does a Living the Stream podcast with CDC, Denny Carter, and then Davis Maddock. You can reach him on. You guys, please follow Davis Maddock. It is so sad now on Twitter because I passed him by and not just passed him by, just like breezed by him. And he needs all the Twitter.
You work for a company that spends $26 million a week in advertising, dude. I don't want to hear it. Dude.
So you're finally.
No, it's not fair. I'm out here without a budget, just hustling, and you're just getting airtime for a company
that you cannot turn on a television without seeing, bro. It's not a fair fight. It's not a fair fight, bro.
It's not a fair fight. It kind of just happened all of a sudden in the past month, and it's been glorious. And Davis has seen it coming for the past 3 weeks, and it happened on Sunday on game day, which made it even more glorious.
Davis is definitely the best follow on Twitter though.
I mean,
I'm not saying just compared to you and him, Kitchen. I'm saying Davis versus the world. Davis is the number one follower on Twitter.
I would say that people fall into 3 categories with me. They either have me blocked, they follow me and they hate themselves because of it, or they follow me and they love every minute of it.
No, I mean I still hate myself for it though. I still hate Sundays, it. I hate you.
It's like on Sundays, it's like a guarantee. To give a little Southern analogy, it's like a guarantee of going to a race and just knowing there's going to be a really bad wreck. That's what it's like following Davis on Sundays. But anyway,
dude, I lost my mind. I lost my mind when Matthews didn't score that touchdown. I was going insane, dude. It was unreal. Oh,
You're giving yourself a lot of credit, by the way, for thinking that people enjoy following you. We follow you because we love hating. We follow you just to hate.
People enjoy.
It's like a guilty pleasure. No one's gonna ever admit that they love following Davis.
I'm like Narcos or How I Met Your Mother, dude. You watch me when you know you should be working. That's definitely what it is.
Drew Mar says, I follow you to correct 60% of the stuff you do. That means probably the other 40. That just means the other 40%. He just it's not even worth it.
I'm not responding to that.
All right, that will do it for today's show. If you haven't already subscribed to Fantasy Insiders, do that now. Go to fantasyinsiders.com/plans. Help Davis pay the bills and
just follow me on Twitter. I don't even care about my bills. Just follow my Twitter account.
And then tomorrow we'll be back. I'll be back again with Evan Silva, Team Pockets on Swole, Dan Gasper, Mr. Toto 05, and Davis. Man, last week those reviews that came in from the show were pretty amazing. So
also, you're not even going to be on the show tomorrow. So
I am going to be on the show.
Are you?
Yeah, I was in Miami. I was traveling to Miami last week. I'm not gonna miss the Silva bump. Are you kidding me? I'm not gonna miss the Silva bump. I am.
I hate you so much. This is not,
so good.
I'm about to go buy Twitter followers, dude. This is about to get.
Please do it. Please do it.
No, except I've gone this entire time on Twitter. I've gone this entire time with never buying followers, and I've seen other people do it, and I'm like, oh, it looks so cool to have 14,000 followers. But I gotta do it honestly, bro. I gotta do it honestly.
I mean, I feel like if you just tone down some of the
I can't tone down the take. I can't tone
the 2012 Davis Maddock tweets it'd be the same as you buying followers because you would basically just be keeping the people that unfollow.
I checked my blocked list the other day. I've blocked over 400 people on Twitter.com.
Wow!
It's incredible.
Wow. It's because for a long time I was just Twitter searching Odell Beckham, and any account that tweeted Odell Beckham I just blocked for a minute.
Wow.
That happened.
You can mute it too.
Dude, do you remember when I retired Twitter for 3 days and didn't tweet and blacked out my avatar, dude? That's when it happened. That's when it happened.
I do remember you blacking out your avatar. It was great.
Odell Beckham put me in a grave, dude.
And now you're overcompensating for it this season.
I am.
All
I
about
don't
that.
want anyone to accuse me of not thinking he's good.
Man, great logic. Way to help the listeners, Davis.
Yeah, you need to follow the JJ model and just stick with your Gronk's not good take.
Oh,
all right, that will do it. That will do it for today's show. Again, tomorrow we'll be back at 5 p.m. Eastern. Tonight we had the college football show at 11 Eastern, and we'll feature Dan Strafford, Natural Slugger Ben Pritchett, and and the CFF site, Joe DeSalvo, from there. It'll be good stuff. We'll talk to you later. Peace.